Welcome to Stepping Up to Your Potential. I'm Sandra Robinson, inviting you to journey into the deeper currents of transformation and healing together. I'll explore insights which aim to connect the dots and reveal the bigger story of our collective growth and amazing potential. Join me by stepping into this journey of discovery and empowerment. My journey into the spirituality space began at the intersection of self-help and spiritual discovery, driven by a lifelong pursuit of self-realization. It began in fourth grade when my grandmother gifted me a diary, sparking my habit of journaling that continues to this day. By sixth grade, I was recording dreams, and in 10th grade, I began exploring astrology. Both practices I've carried forward. These pursuits, like this podcast, have followed a rhythm of activity and reflection. I liken this rhythm to breathing, periods of activity as the inhale, drawing in new experiences that fuel growth, and periods of stillness as the exhale, letting go of what no longer serves. The exhale, being passive, simply requires us to relax and allow the breath to flow out, making space for reflection and receiving the lessons, insights, and gifts of the active phase that preceded it. The inhale, by contrast, is active, an intentional act of engagement to draw in life, empowerment, and potential for expansion. The exhale offers reflection and release, while the inhale drives expansion and engagement. This interplay of active and passive phases mirrors the natural cycles of growth, fostering balance and deeper understanding. During the recent pause in this podcast, a reflective exhale, I contemplated how to articulate what it means to step up to our potential. I sought an expression that avoids the typical self-help mindset, which often stems from lack or self-rejection. My aim is to convey a motivation rooted in joy and abundance rather than desperation. Cosmic perspective on growth. This reflection coincided with seeing the first images from the James Webb Telescope. Stunning photographs that revealed what we perceive as stars are, in fact, entire galaxies, stretching as far as the lens could see. I had to gasp, inhale a breath, in order to begin to take in the enormity of this revelation about the true scope of our universe. In that moment of inhale, I realized two things. The first being that the entire point of existence is expansion. Whether on a cosmic scale, like I was just seeing, in Earth's history of increasingly complex ecosystems and life forms, and within our own personal and cultural evolutions, expansion is what drives it all. I recalled my earlier decision, which I outlined in one of the posts, to reframe my perspective regarding actions and emotions out of the positive and negative paradigm and into an expansive, contractive mindset. I just had to laugh. Pursuit of expansion defines existence itself. Going back to the analogy, expansion is the inhale. But I can't inhale forever. I can't keep expanding my lungs to hold more and more. While this intake may fuel all the processes in my body, I must exhale. This moment of contraction is temporary, a vital part of respiration, balancing effort and rest. The exhale purges the unuseful things, creating space so that the next inhale can reach further, fueling growth, life, and renewal. Just as rest restores energy for action, the exhale, the contraction, prepares us for the next leap forward. While the exhale is required, the power of life lies with the inhale. Consider this. When a baby takes its first breath, it inhales to begin independent life. When a person dies, they release their final breath, marking the end of life. Life begins with an inhale and ends with an exhale. When I think of expansion, the concept of empowerment comes right on the heels. Why? Because empowerment is the fuel which drives expansion. It's the power to breathe in. It's the air entering the lungs, bringing with it the ability to do something. Expansion and empowerment are inherently connected. To be empowered is to take ownership of one's capacity for growth, for expansion, by stepping into a role of self-leadership and personal agency. I've always made decisions based on what fosters personal empowerment, and now I can see the link between that idea and the drive to expand, to grow. Without empowerment, a system, a body, a sun, an idea withers away and dies because it has gone as far as it can. Exhales, releasing everything. And then something new comes in, which does have empowerment and carries forward the process of expansion. Embracing the infinite rhythm. The first realization was expansion, the boundless capacity for growth. The second realization follows naturally. Change. In fact, change is baked into this cake. I love the phrase, "this too shall pass," because it helps me keep things in perspective, reminding me always that some things are worth putting my energy into and some things are not. When I see a system of thought attempting to codify the status quo, locking into perpetuity what exists in this very moment, I recognize it as an effort to prevent change, an effort to prevent the next inhale and thus stall expansion. A thing, an idea, a movement is dead the moment it refuses to inhale. This refusal happens when growth and renewal are replaced by rigidity, when innovation is stifled in favor of preserving the status quo. For example, consider a cultural movement that begins with promise but eventually becomes so entrenched in its original principles that it resists adaptation, growth. Without the willingness to adapt, it ceases to inspire and becomes stagnant, losing its power to drive meaningful change. The series of reflections and experiments led me to a pivotal understanding. My desire to step up is rooted in fostering my own expansion as much as I'm capable of. This includes exhaling as needed to reflect, shed old ideas, and drop limiting beliefs. Each release clears space for the next inhale, enabling me to go farther than before. This podcast is both a personal journey and an invitation to you to embrace the rhythm of inhaling and exhaling with intention, allowing each breath to become a step toward growth and expansion. By doing so, we can unlock the rich potential of who we are capable of becoming and contribute to a collective energy of growth and possibility. The universe, God, Source, Great Spirit, whatever name you choose, is not in a hurry. The vast rhythm of expansion moves at its own pace, reminding me that growth doesn't need to be rushed. Each step up, whether swift or slow, contributes to the unfolding process of existence. Existence will continue to expand eventually, so it's not a requirement to pursue this goal at every moment. I have to remember to breathe, to exhale, let go, reflect, be where I am. Enjoy a moment of stillness and appreciate what surrounds me. Stepping up to my potential isn't a linear climb, it's a dance, a change through expansion and contraction, a cycle of reaching outward and retreating inward. Expansion is my bold move into the unknown. It's the leap, the stretch, the act of saying, yes, I am capable of more. The universe shows me this truth in every star that burns and every seed that grows. Life reaches outward instinctively, unapologetically. Expansion without contraction leads to burnout. Contraction without expansion leads to stagnation. The universe teaches me that stepping into my potential requires honoring both rhythms. The pause strengthens the leap. The leap gives meaning to the pause. The pause might look like stillness after a flurry of activity. But when I resist contraction, when I see rest as weakness or reflection as wasting time, then I cut myself off from the full expression of my potential. But when I embrace both, I align with the natural rhythm of existence. This journey into stepping up is not about chasing perfection or rushing toward an elusive goal, but about celebrating each inhale and exhale as the moment of becoming. Joy fuels the leap into the unknown. Curiosity drives the exploration of what could be. And abundance reminds me that I am already whole, already capable, already connected to the infinite rhythm of expansion. Together, these elements form the foundation for stepping up into my potential, not as a task to complete, but as a life to embrace. What can you release to create space for something new? Where can you lean into curiosity and allow it to guide your next step? As you move forward, let joy and abundance remind you that growth is not about fixing what is broken or rejecting what you don't like, but rather about uncovering and celebrating the extraordinary potential already within you. TLDR. Stepping up isn't about rejection or lack, but arises from joy and abundance. Align with the infinite rhythms of expansion and contraction to unlock your fullest potential. I hope today's episode brought you some inspiration and maybe even a light bulb moment. If it did, you can do me a huge favor by hitting like and subscribe. Think of it as sprinkling a little magic dust to spread the healing and transformation. This podcast is on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and plenty of other platforms. You'll also find it on YouTube with transcripts available at steppinguptoyourpotential.com. Until next time, keep stepping up. You got this.